This is Gary Armstrong, lecturer in sociology in the school of what is called CBAS, the College of Business, Arts and Social Sciences. Anyway, it's Monday morning and you've got some decisions to make in the next few weeks or next few months. I'm here with two colleagues who will be following me, and they are current students, undergraduate students of Brunel, who might be able to tell you a little bit more about the course and the university and their experience of life at Brunel. Meanwhile, I'm in front of the screen and I'm willing to take any questions that you type up. I'm willing to even respond to a good morning and hello. Just tell me how you're feeling and just tell me what you might want me to direct my talk to in the next 20 minutes. Meanwhile, I believe you've got on your screen a pink and green thing, which is Sociology and Communications webinar. That's just the, if you want, the screensaver. I'm now going to press on to another one which tells you a bit more. I'm not going to read out everything that is on the screen because, in a sense, you could have just looked at that and treated it as something like online data. I just want to give you a few pointers which you may have kind of considered in the course of your application. I'm going to ask a few questions of you. I'm not looking for an answer online. I'm not looking for I'm asking the questions in a sense to make you think. You are considering Brunel, and deep down ask yourself, why am I considering Brunel? Is it because of the history of the institution? Is it the course? Is it location? Or indeed, is it the campus nature of university? Because these are the things you've got to consider. Do I want to be in a campus, or do I want to be in a university which is in a, for want of a better term, in a city centre? I suppose Brunel's quite interesting. It is a campus a mile from a town in London. So you've got, if you want it, all the benefits of London, which is about 19, 20 miles. Central London's about 19, 20 miles away. It's very easy to get to. Or do you prefer a small town, which is Uxbridge, which is a pleasant place? Equally, you could, perhaps I exaggerate a little, but you could spend 3 years here and never leave the campus. You know, it's got a lot here, got a lot going on, and usually our students, our undergraduate students, will get 2 of their 3 years in the accommodation on campus, which is very pleasant. It's you know, of the university accommodation I've seen in my academic life, it's a very it's up there with some of the best. Which means for 2 years you might only have to walk a few hundred meters from your bed to the lecture, which I believe has got considerable appeal. Anyway, it's a university, as you should know, which was begun in 1966, so it was the last of the old universities, so it is an old university, and it was founded at the same time as Loughborough, and this was all part of the then Prime Minister's, the Prime Minister was Harold Wilson. It was all part of his white heat of technology. It's a famous phrase that Wilson came out with, which is worth having a Google. And he saw science and technology as integral to the future of, well, humanity, but also integral to the future of the university UK system. And that's what Brunel was. It was famous for its science and technology, but equally, they also realized that in building a brave new world, there would be a lot of social issues which had to be addressed, and that's why we've got sociology. And so sociology has been integral to Brunel since it began over 50 years ago, and we in the sociology department have got a long history. Anyway, just looking then at what's on your screen, we've got a situation where we'd like to think we're doing okay. If I read down from the top, we've got NSS, and you're thinking, what does that mean? That is the National Student Survey, and we are proud to reveal that over 9 out of 10 of our students were satisfied with the degree that we taught, and implicitly us, the teaching staff, 2 years ago. 2 years ago again, 9 out of 10 were happy with communications and media. And the one which we like, I suppose anybody who's paying for this degree will like to hear, is the third one down, which is 96% of our graduates are in employment or a further study. What we are kind of celebrating there is you study, you complete your degree, and you go into employment, which is, I suppose, what everybody wants at the end of it. And we're a pretty highly rated research department for our size. Look at the images. It's a busy place. We had an Olympic footprint. People passed through on the way to the Olympics. We also had a few hundred people staying here, national team squads. We've got the Centre for Comedy, which is a bit of a unique research centre in the UK university. Not in sociology, but in sports science, we see we've got a friend in Usain Bolt who visits Brunel to train in the facilities. And if you are interested in poetry and literature, we've also got Benjamin Zachariah, who is a lecturer here. And there's more, but you can have a Google of that at your own time. I'm going to move on to the next slide now, which is an attempt to inform you of how the degree works. Well, it's you'd probably be not surprised to hear it's no different to most universities, in that it starts in late September and finishes in May. Then there's exams, and then you're free from about mid-July until mid-September for your next year. And if you want it, you can do a 3-year degree, straightforward 3-year degree. Alternatively, you can do a 4-year degree, and this 4-year degree will involve you doing 2 work placements. So if you look at the 4-year degree program and you look at the second and third block down, you'll see that there are 2 possible work placements, one in term 2 of your second year and one in term 1 of your third year. What this means is there are 2 possibilities to work at 2 different places to pick up what we consider work experience to enhance your CV, or ideally these work placements you'll impress so much that then potential employer will probably offer you a position upon graduation. And that's a little bit unique. Not many universities or undergrad courses offer that possibility of 2 work placements. So that will be a 4-year degree program. It's entirely down to you whether you choose to take that or not. I hope this is enlightening you. If there's any questions, feel free to type them in, and I'll answer them as and when they come through. Meanwhile, if you're still awake, I'll move on to the next slide, which gives you some indication of what modules and themes are on offer at the undergrad level. Just a note here, remember that modules are not set in stone, and some of the modules may well be very much dependent upon a lecturer. If the lecturer leaves, we might have to replace that module with some other module which reflects the specialism of the person we've appointed to replace that lecturer. So this is as it stands right now. It's not going to change that much, but there just might be a couple of modules retitled. We might decide that one module isn't attracting enough students, so we'll replace it with something that is more attractive, but you get an idea of what we're looking at. So should you decide to go to Brunel, you can see that there's level 1 and level 2, and that's another way of saying year 1 or year 2. So when you're in your first year, look at level 1. We like to think we're helping you by saying we've decided for you. What that means is those module titles you see there are compulsory, and it's compulsory to take them all, and the requirement we ask of all first years is that you pass the modules, and the pass will allow you to move on to level 2. What I'm saying there in another sense is that level 1 does not score on your degree. You start scoring on your degree in level 2, where you have a combination of compulsory modules, but then you have the option to choose 2 of the 5 listed there. You can see them with a specific asterisk. So this is where it gets a bit more down to you. You're cutting and pasting your degree, but we're also kind of being the bedrock at the same time. So if we move on now to the I'll move into the third year in a minute, forgive me there. I'm now looking at communications and media. Same thing, level 1, you're told what to sit and read. Level 2, you choose. And you can see there's a bit of crossover with sociology, but equally they've got their own specialisms which reflect the degree. So if I move on to level 3, sorry, I'm rushing ahead of myself. This is sociology and media, same thing, level 1, level 2. You can see the level 2 offering a little bit more option than the previous 2 degrees. Doesn't matter, you've still got to pass, you've still got to read, you've still got to turn up at lectures. So it's not something to get worked up about. It's a question, I suppose, of just how much choice you feel that you need in a degree. And when we get to level 3, this is where it's all about options. So you choose, I think it's 4, might even be 6 of the options on offer there, and you're completely on your own in terms of what you are cutting and pasting your pathway in the third year. Obviously all modules are taught, you've got lecturers and you've got pedagogic assistants throughout, so you're never alone, but your choices are yours alone, if that makes sense. And that is supplemented by something called the undergrad dissertation, which is a 10,000 word dissertation based on a subject that you've chosen and agreed with a supervisor. And that will take you all year, all academic year, to put together. At the end of it, we hope you leave happy. I was going to say solvent, but that might be a little bit hopeful, but certainly happy, prepared, confident in so many aspects of life, both academic and personal, to go into the big wide world which London offers. And just as an aside there, look at our location, and if I said to you, go 50 miles circumference around the location that is Brunel University, that will bring in what I consider employment hotspots, such as the M4 corridor, Reading into London. It will bring in up to Oxford, Hertfordshire, obviously London, central London, Surrey, Hampshire and Kent. These are the places where you've seen a massive rise in job creation. And if I look down the list that I've put in front of you, I would ask you to consider where are the headquarters of most broadcasting agencies and journalism, publishing and marketing. I think the answer is the southeast, and particularly London. I'd ask you to look at the second one, look at media technology, television and video. That too is very London focused. I'm not celebrating that, it's just a fact. Third one, policy. Local and central government. Well, London's got 32 London boroughs. There's an awful lot of jobs available in those boroughs. If I looked at health, education, industry, London too is a vital place for that. I could go on, but you get the you get my argument. I'm just wondering whether perhaps one of the biggest advantages of Brunel is the possibility that you come here, enjoy life, make friends, get a job, and you don't have to move to another town and start your life again in another place, because Brunel segues lovely into employment in the region. Anyway, I've been going on for 20 minutes. That's my allocated time. I'm going to pass over to one of the undergrads in a few minutes. Meanwhile, I'll ask you once again, if there's any questions, do type them up and I'll do my best to answer them, whether that be now or in the next half an hour. Thanks for listening. Look forward to meeting you in Brunel. My name's Gary Armstrong. Do tell me your name and hope to see you soon. I'm going to pass over now to Filippo, who'll tell you more about why he's here.
Good morning, my name is Filippo and I'm a third-year Comms and Media student here at Brunel University. I've lived in 6 different countries across Europe and Asia before coming to UK for university. And I chose Brunel because it was an amazing location, only 40 minutes away from central London, and on top of this, it was ranked reputable in the area for the given course. Being a campus unit also allowed me to get the full university experience. Now, the reason I chose to take communications and media was because through high school I didn't know what I wanted to do in the future, so I decided that a broad course would be the best option for me. I have an international baccalaureate diploma, and comms and media matched my favorite IB subjects, which were film and English Language and Lit. I'm almost at the end of my degree, and so far I've enjoyed every year equally. Brunel offers comms and media as a Bachelor of Science and not a Bachelor of Arts, which is notable during the hiring process. The course itself allows you to be independent with a good amount of contact hours, and the coursework does a great job at balancing theory and practical work. I also really appreciate the fact that students can tailor their degree as they go by gradually selecting what they specifically want to study. I've personally had a chance to live both on campus and off campus during my years here, and I highly recommend experimenting with both through your studies at Brunel. On-campus accommodation allows a good balance between living at home and getting used to living on your own, while off-campus accommodation lets students be even more independent. Both obviously have their pros and cons, which you can see on the screen, but regardless of where you're living in first year, you'll find that there's an equal amount of people living in uni halls and commuting from home. It's difficult to stand out as a student now because more and more people are getting degrees, and it's important to take an extra step and pursue your hobbies. Brunel offers countless opportunities to join different sports teams, clubs, and societies for you to do that. Some of these are linked to specific courses. I personally enjoy the media aspect of my course, so I went on and joined Radio Brunel. Now I can confidently say that I'm trained with radio equipment if I were ever to get a job in the industry. Lastly, campus life at Brunel is pretty good. There's no denying that. You wouldn't get this many London universities. You wouldn't get this in many London universities because there's simply no space for a campus experience. But Brunel and its location allows that. Living in halls, you can be in class in 3 minutes and grab a coffee on the way. You can stop for lunch at Subway right under your lecture hall during your breaks, and then continue studying in the 24-hour library during exams. It really is all there, and for those who don't want to go into Central for a night out, the Uni Pub and Club offer great and sometimes even better alternate events. But yeah, those were just my experiences here at Brunel, and hopefully I'll be able to hear some of yours. If you have any questions about my presentation or Gary's presentation, please do let us know, because now we're open to take them.
whilst you're hopefully considering having a chat with us, I'll just finish with a few more things which were not on the slide, but these are my reflections as someone who's been at Brunel for 16 years now. If I were a 17 or 18-year-old student, or to be honest, a student of any age thinking of coming here, I'm trying to sell the good points. Obviously, that's the job of the task this morning. I've mentioned accommodation. It's good. It's nearby, safe, clean, good place to live. I'd probably bring in the question that I'm maybe anticipating questions here. You might be asking, what is the contact hours with the staff? It's always a favourite question on open days. The short answer is between 12 and 15 hours in the first year, and we would expect you to be studying for self-initiated study for about 30 hours a week. We also realise that students in this day and age work. Perhaps this is something we don't stress enough. When I say work, I mean paid employment. London, and especially where we are, there is a multitude of possibilities for part-time work. We accept that you have to work. So we expect about 30 hours study, and in the meantime, you've got so many companies and businesses and organisations within a 5-mile radius of Brunel that you could get paid employment to assist your life at university, for want of a better phrase. Some of you will be curious about how we grade the degree, and the short answer is it depends on the module. What I can say is your degree will not be dependent upon something like 12 exams crammed into 6 weeks at the end of your third year. What you've got then is a possibility of some modules will be graded by extended essay. Some modules are graded in part on presentation, in part on written work. Others will be essay and then later an exam. I think you get the message. It depends on the module, but it's not the be-all, end-all 6 weeks after the end of your 3 years. It's very variable. Expectations that we have upon you and you have for us, we want you to be attending lectures and seminars. We want you to do what we've told you to do, i.e. we direct you to reading, we give you deadlines, we expect you to read and hit the deadlines. On our part, we are judged by you on the National Student Survey, and we've got to make sure that we do our part of the deal, which is deliver lectures which are both competent, well understood, well presented, and we grade and return work within 10 working days. So we too have got a duty in this, what we might call a relationship between you and I. I could go on, but I won't. I'm still looking for any questions, and if you do have questions which you don't want to ask now, you can email me. It's quite simple. You can Google me, Gary Armstrong, and you'll find my email on the website of Brunel. I'll answer any questions there and then. But meanwhile, if not, we will wrap up. I think you should get the message by now as to what we can and can't do, or what we're selling here. It's an exciting place. It's fun. It's also a serious university that takes pride in its research and its enterprise, and it takes great pride in producing students who will go and address the problems of the world both now and in the future. And on that one, I'll leave off. Thanks for listening. Hope to see you in September. Bye.